We are live, YouTubes. This is Super Death Grind. Old James Poo here. I am going a vicious grind for 2 years of my life. This is the 8th week, third day. We're just talking about lessons learned, personal insights as I see fit for this grind and in life in general. So welcome. Update. I am trying to quit caffeine by the end of the month. It is going well. Yesterday was my lightest caffeine day. I had a half calf Americano. Or no, I just had a double shot Americano, and that is it. That was my only caffeine intake. The day prior, I had half a Red Bull. I had half a Red Bull. Sorry, I'm just gonna charge my stuff here. I had half a Red Bull midday because I usually do a Red Bull midday. So usually I would do quad shot Americano in the morning around Red Bull 30, which is about 1 p.m. I'd have a little 7-8 ounce Red Bull. At night, I may have had Diet Coke, and I switched to decaf Diet Coke for the interim in lieu of that. And occasionally I would drink half an energy drink at night with electrolytes. Why? Because electrolytes are everything. So I'm doing exceedingly well. Yesterday it was, so a couple things here that are interesting. So my hunger levels were a little bonkers midday. Around like 4 o'clock I started getting really hungry, and then I did a good old office workout. So I'm doing about 10-minute workouts right now in my fun gym. I have a little gym I set up downstairs called my fun dungeon, my fun gym play on words. Got that from Wreck-It Ralph. You would appreciate that. By the way, my mind is functioning amazingly well today. That's we'll circle back to that. But once I worked out, felt great. Hunger levels went away. I wasn't even really hungry when I went home, and my wife ordered Qdoba, and mind you, I got just a steak bowl with no rice, and I had a huge salad. So I am exceedingly gassy today. I apologize because of the beans, man. I don't know what it is. I am half Mexican, and beans and I don't know. They just don't sit well. They make me gassy. But I had that. I wasn't actually that hungry, but I ate a decent amount of food. So I usually have a really big salad. So I just took that bowl, which was basically like a salad already, dumped it in my big salad. So I just have this huge, like 2-pound salad with meat. Had 16 ounces of turkey breast beyond that. Half a bag of Angie's popcorn, the light kettle, which is fantastic. One of my vices in life. And a little bit more of my wife's. She had a rice steak bowl that she didn't eat for whatever reason. So I had some of that and maybe a little bit of quesadilla. So I didn't eat that much food. But I can feel my stomach today because I'm so bloated because I had so much fiber in my diet yesterday, which was great. Fiber is good for your gut health. So kicking caffeine. But the odd thing is usually at the end of the day, I feel exceedingly tired because typically I'm waking up doing polyphasic sleep, and I'm waking up anywhere between 12:30 and 2 in the morning. Yesterday I woke up, I want to say about 2 in the morning. Right, did my normal routine. I think I got a little baby nap in there somewhere, and I wasn't really tired midday, but I was definitely hungry. My energy levels have felt the best they've ever felt in a while yesterday, with just that double shot Americano in the morning. So I think I'm going to, so I have a little coffee machine at home, a little espresso machine. So we are going to finish out the beans in there, and I'm just going to do a double shot Americano. Once we get rid of that, we are going to go decaf. I'm interested to see the actual content, actual caffeine contents of decaf Americanos, because I do believe there are trace amounts of caffeine in there. And the question is for me, am I willing to get rid of coffee altogether, or am I willing to just do decaf coffee? Because truth be told, I do love the taste of coffee. I love an Americano. I like quad shot for the flavor because I like that boldness. It's got to be a smooth blend though, with a little bit of cream, and that Americano is a gift in life to me. I love it. I love coffee. Coffee snob all day. And that's just what I like. I don't like pumping sweeteners in there, no sugar. It's just good old cow's cream and 2 shots of coffee. So good. So I'm going to phase out to decaf, I think probably at the end of this week. And then next week, I'm going to reevaluate essentially where I am with this whole caffeine, this energy thing. Another side note, sorry, I'm talking really fast right now. Because my mind's just, it feels great. I started taking some nootropics yesterday. Maybe tomorrow I'll bring in that little bottle of nootropics and show what they are. I'm not sure if it's the nootropics that have this effect on my mind currently, or if sorry, I sound like I'm on crack. I assure you I'm not. I'm just, my mind's just rocking and rolling right now. So I'm not sure if it's the nootropic effect or there's a synergistic effect with the reduction of caffeine as well. Couple that with last night, I did take melatonin. I'm unsure why. Partially because I felt so wired last night, which is weird, right? Because my reduction of caffeine was the lowest it's ever been. And I also got very, very minimal sleep. I probably got 4 hours of sleep ish yesterday. So I should have been, in theory, really tired. So I took melatonin right after we put the kids to bed so I could fall asleep, just because I felt so wired. I didn't want to take the chance that when my head hit the pillow that I didn't fall asleep. However, I felt really wired when I went to bed, even with the melatonin. And I can tell you that I don't even remember falling asleep, because typically when I go to bed, it takes me like 10 seconds. I don't do phones in bed. I don't do anything in bed but sleep. So when my head hits the pillow, and the proverbial pillow, and I say proverbial pillow because I actually do not use a pillow when I sleep. I find it's just better for basically body ergonomics and my neck. When I sleep on a pillow, like let's say I'm here, it raises my neck. But when I sleep without a pillow, I'm just really flat because I'm a stomach sleeper by nature. So I don't actually use a pillow and proverbial pillow. So when my head hits the proverbial pillow, it takes me less than 10 seconds. I don't even remember trying to fall asleep normally most of the time. And last night was no different, which is odd to me because I felt entirely wired, which is weird because I didn't sleep that much. I didn't have that much caffeine. So one would think that I would be exceedingly tired, but my energy levels were the best. So I am really excited about throwing out caffeine altogether. Probably later today, I will take a little bit of time and research how much caffeine is actually in decaf coffee and make the judgment call of if I'm okay with the trace amounts of caffeine that are actually in decaf coffee, or quit it altogether. And part of this is also gut health and gut bacteria, the flora and the fauna in there. So I do know that there are certain funguses and perhaps bacteria that are in caffeine, well, most notably coffee beans. So I do know that, when you drink it, beyond just the caffeine having a negative impact on overall health and well-being and gut bacteria, I do know that some of the spores in caffeine do affect that. So I am after digestive health as well. So I will have to do a little bit of research and decide, make the decision whether or not I want to give up coffee entirely, which would be really sad because I enjoy my hot bean water in the morning with some cow's milk while taking my vitamin D, because vitamin D is fat soluble. So I always take it with a fat source. I always take it in the morning because typically what I think is, hey, the body's been around for thousands of years. When do we usually get vitamin D? AKA, when do we usually get sunlight? Oh, that's in the morning, right? When the sun rises. At night, when you take vitamin D, I think it's just going to have some negative impacts on the circadian cycle, because, we're not getting vitamin D at night typically because it's dark. We can't absorb vitamin D through blackness of air. So I usually take vitamin D in the morning. So I'm going to have to rethink if I do get off caffeine. I hate tea, but maybe I'm going to have to do it because I want a warm drink in the morning with cream to take my vitamin D with. I hate tea. I'm not a tea fan, but I suppose everything's subject to change for the greater good. So we will see. I'll research it tomorrow and let you know. It is 6:47 in the morning. I got a late start today. I actually slept a lot last night. I'm going to blame the melatonin, because anytime I take melatonin, I just took a 5 milligram dose. If I ever feel like I'm going to have a cold coming on or something like that, I force myself to get as much sleep as possible. So when I usually do that, I take melatonin and I'll take a 10 milligram dose. And even sometimes I'll hop on the Q, the old NyQuil, that dextromethorphan stuff. Sleep super well on that. And so basically, because I don't set an alarm, I just wake up when my body wakes up. And typically speaking, that's anywhere between 12:30 and 2 in the morning. So today I woke up at 4, and I'm citing the reason is that because I took that 5 milligrams of melatonin last night. So I didn't take any NyQuil or anything like that. I just took 5 milligrams of melatonin, probably, I don't know, 20 minutes before I went to bed. And it enabled me to sleep a little bit longer because it fights my body's natural response currently of the polyphasic sleeping, where I just wake up super early. So a lot of this, I'm honestly just trusting my body in right now, because for this polyphasic sleep cycle, before I had to scale myself into polyphasic sleeping. So let's say on average I was sleeping 7 hours a night, right? So maybe I was waking up at, let's just for sake of argument, I don't know what factual things are here, but let's say, just say for sake of argument, let's say I was waking up previously at 8 a.m. So when I first got into polyphasic sleeping, what I would do is I would pull back 30 minutes of sleep via alarm clock every day. And once I got comfortable and I would feel awake with that 30-minute of sleep reduction, then I would enact another 30-minute sleep reduction. And this was actually quite a long process until I was able to sleep off of 2 to 4 hours a day the first time I did polyphasic sleeping. So this is probably the third cycle in my life where I've enacted polyphasic sleeping. And this third time around, honestly, I didn't even, one day when I started the new business, I just woke up and I was good to go. And I've been on it ever since. And I think a lot of that is just knowing and trusting your own body once you've been doing things long enough. Because like I said, the first time I did polyphasic sleeping, it was a long, arduous process to get myself to be able to sleep that little and wake up naturally without an alarm clock, because I think that's also highly important. You should wake up when you're ready, when your body's ready. So, but this time around, I just, like day one, I was like, okay, it's 2 a.m., let's go. So a lot of this is just trusting your body. And the only way you can get to trust your body is when you go through the processes of actually doing this and getting to know your body, and you're really militant on your regimen as it persists to a daily practice of: when do I wake up? When do I eat what? When do I drink what? What supplements am I taking? When am I taking these supplements? What am I eating? When am I eating it? When am I going to bed? All those certain things. So just kind of by nature, I really like being, when I'm on vacation, it's a totally different mentality. It's, debauchery at large, and kids at home. That just means, I'm going to eat McDonald's. But usually when I am in full on grind mode, I'm really militant, just because, right, I think everything is a repeatable process. And if you follow strict protocols, ultimately it's going to lead you back to the same thing. So, whether it be a certain level of performance, whether it be a certain level of income, whether it be a certain level of happiness, these are all repeatable processes where you can gauge the metrics by knowing yourself, and just following strict protocols, because rinse and repeat, right? You find what works and you do it again. You find what doesn't work and you correct that issue, by essentially doing what's called A/B testing. This didn't work, will this work? No, okay, let's start at the beginning again, maybe try this. Nope, that didn't work, let me try this works. You try it for a week, that thing is working, and then you just roll with that thing until you find out that it is no longer working, and or you have a necessity for a different need, such as maybe I find that maybe sleep altogether is not going to work for me, and I have to go 2 days straight with no sleep. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll see if that necessity exists. So, yeah, long story short, the no caffeine thing is going really well. I feel like I'm cracked out right now, and I haven't had any caffeine today. I did get some solid sleep though. I'm interested to see how my body responds today when I take the caffeine. I'm very stoked about taking these nootropics. I've been wanting to take nootropics. And for those of you at home, no, that is not cocaine. Essentially, nootropics are like herbal supplements that help support brain function, cognition, memory, those sorts of things. Like ginkgo biloba, you probably heard of that. So some of that stuff is in there. And one thing I'm after right now is, I want to be a little bit leaner, because I think the body it is my belief, the body functions with the mind better at a lower body fat level. And you also have higher energy levels. And a lot of the bad stuff in humans is stored in fat. So when you don't have a lot of fat stores, you can constantly, expel those, for keywords here, I'm going to say toxins, but let's, forget that word. So you can expel a lot of those toxins out of your body relatively quickly. You don't have a lot of fat stores, because your body doesn't have anywhere to store them, and you can burn through those and excrete it through, urination, defecation, or whatever. So yeah, I want to be leaner. And then the other thing I'm most particularly interested in, health physically wise, and this is probably my primary concern, is that I want better brain cognition. I want, better memory. I want to be sharper. I want to be more clear. I want to be more concise in my thoughts. I want to access, these file cabinets of my brain a lot quicker. And I just want to function at a high level with a lot of energy constantly and not have any crashes. So, things are going exceedingly well on that path. I'm very excited about taking those nootropics. I've been wanting to take them for a long time, but I've just been so busy, and I actually don't have, like, my wife orders everything through Amazon. I don't actually have an Amazon Prime account for a multitude of reasons, but I've been wanting her to order them. And, finally I just went somewhere local, know a guy who has a supplement store, and got some brain stuff. So I started taking yesterday kind of a nootropic again, herbal supplement. I'm not 100% sure what I know it has like, mushroom ashwagandha or whatever in there. Non psychoactive folks, so I'm not high right now. And then I also started taking CLA, conjugated lyolinic acid, maybe. I could be wrong on that. But it's essentially, it has some brain cognition benefits and it also helps with fat burning. It's not necessarily like a stimulant. I would have to really go back and research exactly how it performs as it pertains to the physiology of the body and burning fat. But I started taking those two things in addition to it. I believe I'm just going to take one daily dose of that, but I might take two daily doses. I just need to research it a little bit more because more is not always better, right? We tend to think just because a little bit of something is good, a lot of something is good. And I'm not, naive enough to believe that's actually true. So that is all for right now. Sorry, I got a late start. I had a really good conversation this morning, and that ate up like an hour, but it was a really beneficial conversation. So that is all for today. 8.3, things are going really well for old Jamesy Poo, and I don't feel like I'm going to lose my mind, although I am venturing into madness a little bit, but you kind of have to be. So be good humans out there. Be kind to each other today. Open doors for strangers, but don't tell other people because that just makes you a jerk. And just be nice to people, especially on the road, man. People are driving like maniacs out there. I don't know what it is right now. Maybe it's just an Alaska thing. Maybe it's just an Anchorage thing right now. But I'm finding that people on the roads are driving insane. So drive nice to each other. Do it.